What is an enum? An enum is a short form for enumeration. It is a special data type in programming that defines a fixed set of constants. Now we know what is a constant, right? So what is an enum? Enum is a special data type which defines a fixed set of constants. They are basically a set of possible values that don't otherwise have a numerical order. This is also an important part here, that enums don't have a numerical order, because we have talked about lists, we have talked about sets, we have talked about maps. So in the list we got to know that it has an order, right? So whatever order we are entering the values, they are present in the same order. But in case of enums, they are basically constants. That means their value cannot be updated. And the second thing is, they don't have a numerical order. Now the question is, what do we use enum for? For example, for constants, it's pretty much clear that we can use it for values which are never going to change. For example, pi is a constant, right? Pi is 3.14 in math. And the value of pi should never be changed, which is why we can use a constant right here. Similarly, we have some scenarios where using an enum makes more sense. For example, let's say you want to define days of week. Now, there can be only 7 days in a week, right? We have Monday, we have Tuesday, we have Wednesday, we have Thursday, we have Friday, we have Saturday, and then we have Sunday. So in order to define these days of week together, we can use a enum. So what we have done here, we have defined an enum, and this enum is public. So public basically means that it can be used in different code files that you define, or I can say it can be used in different classes that you are going to define. In case it's not clear for now, that's fine, because it will be more clear when we'll talk about classes and objects. But for now, you can just understand that if I define something as public, that means it can be used in different files of code. Okay. Otherwise, it can only be used within the same file. So how we define an enum here? We are saying enum, which is a keyword enum, and then the name of the enum, which is days of week, and then we have the curly opening brace, and we also have the curly closing braces. And within these curly braces, we are defining some constants which are separated by commas. And we don't really need to give values to these constants. We just need to define the name of the constant. So we have Monday, we have Tuesday, we have Wednesday, we have Thursday, we have Friday, we have Saturday, and we have Sunday. And these are separated by commas. In order to keep the code more readable, I have kept it like this. However, you can also keep them in a single line as well. For example, if I do something like, that I want to keep these like this. Okay. So this is also possible. This is also a valid enum. Now the point is, how can we use enums? So in order to use enum, because it is a data type, right? It is a data type. For example, we have integer, we have boolean, we have studied about different data types in the past. So this is a custom data type, or I can say a user defined data type that we have defined right here. Now, how do we use a data type? We use a data type by creating a variable of that type of data, right? For example, if I want to create a variable of integer, what will I do? I will say integer, and then I will say the variable name, for example, num, and then a semicolon, right? This is how I'll define a variable of this particular data type. So how do we use enums? We can use enums by specifying, or I can say by defining a variable of that particular type of enum. For example, we have days of week here. So I can say my data type is nothing but days of week. My variable name is the name of my variable, which is current day, is equal to, and then I can assign a value to this particular variable. And the value will also be nothing but one of these values, or I can say one of these constants that I have defined right here. So I can say days of week, which is a data type, current day, which is a variable name, and then the value is nothing but days of week dot Sunday. This means that I'm going to assign this particular value, which is a part of this enum, to my variable, which is of same type of enum, that is days of week. So what this current day is going to store? It is going to store the value as Sunday. And then I'm displaying current day of week is this particular variable, which is going to store the value as Sunday. So let's execute the code till here, and then it will be more clear to you. I think this should be off. So if you see, I'm getting a debug here, and here I'm saying current day of week is Sunday. So the value, or I can say the constant that I have defined right here, it is being displayed as is. This is how we can define and we can use an enum. So what can we do with enums? First of all, we have understood that we can use an enum like this, where we can assign a particular value out of the values that we have defined. So these constants are nothing but values of our enum. Now, what if we want to get all the values that are present in my enum, right? How can we do that? So for that, I can say the name of enum dot and then values, and then we have the curly braces. So whenever we have this kind of syntax, I think I have told you this earlier as well. Here we are calling a method. So whenever we have this kind of syntax where we have a dot and then some word and then we have curly braces, we are actually calling a method. I think I told this to you in some previous tutorial as well, but it will be more clear as we move ahead to classes and objects. For now, you can just understand that a method is going to return us some value. For now, you can just say that I'm doing days of week dot values, and this is going to assign to my variable, which is on the left hand side, all the values that are present in my enum. Okay. So in order to store one value, we are creating a variable of this particular enum, right? Now, in order to store all the values, what we need to do? We need to create a list of this particular data type. You learned this in the previous tutorial as well, that if you want to store one integer, what do? We say integer and then the variable name, and then we say a value, for example, 10. But in case we want to store multiple integers, then what we'll do? We'll say list, and then here we'll say integer, and then here we'll say the name of the list, which is nums, is equal to new list of integer. Right? We are doing something like this. So if we see the left hand side, what we are doing, we are creating a list of integer here so that we can store multiple integers in this particular variable. Similarly, when we want to store multiple enums in this particular variable, what we'll do? This variable should have the type list of enum. So here we have specified our data type, which is nothing but the name of my enum. So we can get all the values of our enum, and this values method is going to return us a list, and we have stored this in this particular variable, which is nothing but a list of our enum. Let's execute the code till here and let's see how it works. So in the second debug, I am saying values of days of week enum and then all the values. So here we have values of days of week enum, and then we have all the values. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we also have Saturday and Sunday. So we have all the values which are present inside the list, and this list is of type days of week enum. Now there are some more methods using which we can convert an enum to a string, and we can also convert a string to an enum. So in case I want to convert a particular enum to a string, then what I can do? First of all, I can say the name of the enum, which is days of week, dot value of the enum, which is Monday, dot, and I can call the name method on this particular value. When I'll do this, it will give me a string, and the string will be stored in the variable that I have defined right here. So I have defined a string variable here, and I have named it as Monday, and this Monday is going to store the value of this particular enum, which is Monday, as a string, and then I'm displaying this variable right here. So let's execute the code till here and let's see how it works. So this was the first debug, this was the second debug, this is the third debug, and let's see. So the first debug is just Sunday, second debug is list of enums, and the third debug is saying converting Monday from enum to string, right? Converting Monday from enum to string. And then I'm displaying the value of my string variable. So this is going to store a string, and the value of string is nothing but Monday. So this time, this is not an enum, it is a string variable. Similarly, we can also convert string to an enum. So what we can do, we can use the name of the enum, which is days of week, and here I'm calling the value of method. So this method is going to take a string and it is going to convert it into an enum. So here we are taking a string and we are converting it into a value which can be assigned to a variable of type enum, and then I'm displaying this value right here. So let's execute this code and let's see how it works. Okay, I haven't defined the enum, so I need to execute the code from top because I have defined the enum right here, right? Let's execute from top till here. Okay. So now if you see, in the last debug, we are having converting Monday from string to enum, and then I'm displaying a variable which is of type enum, but it has got its value from a string. Okay, so converting Monday from string to enum, and the value is nothing but Monday. And this time this is a enum. You can also try different things here. For example, if I say Monday 1, and then we can see what will happen, because I don't have any enum which is of value Monday 1, right? Let's see what will happen. So I need to execute the whole code from here till here. And if I see, so yeah, if you see, I'm getting an error here. So the error is saying System.NoSuchElementException, because there is no such element which is present in the enum having a value as Monday 1. And it is saying no enum value found called Monday 1. So while converting a string into an enum, you can only use the values which are actually a part of the enum. Now the last method that I want to cover here is ordinal. And after that, we'll talk about a real example. What this ordinal method will do, it will return the position of the item, or I can say the position of the enum that we are using right here in the list of enums that we have defined starting from index 0. So what I am saying, it will return the position of item in the list of enums, or I can say the position of current item in the list of enums starting from index 0. Okay, so if I talk about this particular enum that I have defined above, if you see this particular item, because all these are items in the enum, right? So the first item, which is Monday, has an index 0, second item has an index 1, third item has an index 2, fourth item has an index 3, then we have index 4, then we have index 5, and then we have index 6. So it will return the position of the current item, which is Thursday here, in our list of enums, or I should say the list of enum values. So these are not enums, because enum is this particular thing. These are enum values. So I can say in the list of enum values. So it will return the position of the current item in the list of enum values starting from index 0. So if I'm talking about Thursday here, the position of Thursday in the list of enum values is number 3. Because if we start with index 0, then Thursday is coming at position number 3, or I can say index number 3. So let's execute the code till here, and let's see what we'll get right here. I'm going to execute the whole code from here till here. Okay. So if you see, I think I need to change this back to Monday from Monday 1. Now I can execute this whole code. So if you see, I'm getting here ordinal of Thursday enum. Ordinal of Thursday enum is equal to 3. So it is coming as 3. And why it is coming as 3, we have already seen it. That if I talk about the position of Thursday in this list of enum values starting from 0, then it will come as 3. So which is why I'm getting a value as 3 here. So after this, I think I have one more method here, which is the equals method. So the equals method can check if the value of a particular variable, which should be an enum variable, is equal to a particular enum or not. For example, I want to check that if this Monday enum variable has a value equal to Monday enum or not. Okay, so I can do days of week, which is a data type, and then Monday, which is the enum value, dot equals, and then I can pass my variable right here. So I can pass my variable within the parenthesis, and what it will do, it will automatically compare the value of this particular variable with the value of the enum that we have defined right here. So here I am checking, is Monday enum having a value as Monday or not. So this Monday value should be equal to the variable, or I can say the value of this particular variable, and the value of this variable is Monday. So this should work fine. And what we'll get here, we should get true here, because this is a comparison. So we should get either true or false. Let's execute the whole code and let's see what happens. So if you see, in the last debug we are checking, is Monday enum equal to Monday, and it is coming as true. So this Monday enum is having a value as Monday, which is equal to this particular enum, which is why it is coming as true. For example, let's say if I change this value, so I'm saying that the value of this enum should be Tuesday. Now I'm converting this Tuesday string into an enum, and I'm still storing it in the same variable, Monday enum, but it is going to have value as Tuesday. So let's execute the whole code once again. So now if you see, here we are having converting Monday from string to enum and the value of this Monday enum variable. But this time we are not converting Monday, we are converting Tuesday. So converting Monday from string to enum and the value is nothing but Tuesday, right? Because this variable is storing a value as Tuesday. Similarly, I'm checking, is Monday enum equal to Monday? And is Monday enum equal to Monday? And the value this time is coming as false. Why? Because I'm checking if this value, that is Monday, equals to the value of this particular variable. But this variable is storing the enum Tuesday and not Monday, right? Which is why this is coming as false. So this is how you can also compare that whether a particular variable is storing this particular enum value or not using the equals method. That's all for this tutorial. I'll see you next time.